Good for your gut health?
Avocados.
Yes, indeed. So avocados have nice soluble fiber. It's got monounsaturated fats. It's good for your gut health.
Love that. All right, avocado oil.
And maybe not. That's because even though it's got monounsaturated fats, it doesn't have any polyphenols and it doesn't have any fiber.
What about walnut oil?
And unfortunately, walnut oil has a lot of omega-6 fats. It does have some omega-3 fats, but it doesn't have any fiber and nah.
What about vegetable oil?
Vegetable oil, absolutely not. Not only is it mostly short-chain omega-6 fats, it's full of lectins.
Moving on, canola oil.
If it's organic canola oil, it's a big thumbs up. Canola oil is mostly the short-chain omega-3 fat alpha-linolenic acid, better known as ALA. If you can find organic, it's a great oil for your blood vessels as well.
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil, It's mostly saturated fats, but yes, it does have medium-chain triglycerides. Unfortunately, most of the medium-chain triglycerides in coconut oil are not the type that are ketogenic, so don't be fooled.
Butter.
In the United States, butter is an The reason for that is it's made primarily from casein A1 cow milk. It doesn't have all that much butyrate that everybody thinks is beneficial for you. So it's mainly saturated fat.
Margarine.
Margarine gets an absolute, it has no health benefits whatsoever. And it's made primarily from plants with lectins. Olive oil gets a big thumbs up, but you gotta look for olive oil that's high in polyphenols. The main oil in olive oil is a monounsaturated fat called oleic acid, and it really doesn't have any benefits for you. The purpose of olive oil is to get polyphenols into your mouth. Polyphenols are prebiotics for gut bacteria, and the more polyphenols in your olive oil, the better your gut health. Good for breakfast? Oh my gosh, orange juice gets a major thumb down. First of all, it is pure sugar. Studies in humans drinking a glass of orange juice shows that it stops your white blood cells from working for 6 hours. Does that sound healthy? Absolutely not. Oatmeal gets a major thumbs down. Oatmeal is loaded with glyphosate, even the organic varieties. It's loaded with a banned herbicide by the EPA, even though it's in there. And it unfortunately is mostly turning into sugar. Oatmeal contains a protein that cross-reacts with gluten. So if you see gluten-free oats, run the other way. There's no such thing. Eggs. I'll tell you what, it's going to get a thumbs down and a thumbs up. Here's the problem with eggs. So many of my patients react to either the whites or the yolks of eggs. They have food sensitivities to eggs. Plus, the vast majority of eggs in this country are not fed properly. You are what you eat, but you are what the thing you're eating ate. And just because it says cage-free or free-range or even pastured doesn't mean much of anything about what the birds are actually eating. So mostly it's a thumbs down. Avocado toast. What a way to ruin a good avocado. Avocados are great for you. They're great for your gut. But if you put it on our toast, each slice of toast has 4 teaspoons of sugar. And it's loaded with gluten, one of the worst lectins in the world. So you're taking a perfectly good food, an avocado, and ruining it by putting it on toast. Oh my gosh, cereals should be banned from the United States. There is nothing useful about cereals. They are primarily pure sugar. Doesn't matter what they're made of. The minute you process a grain into a light, fluffy thing, it basically turns it into a sugar bomb. Plus, most of them are loaded with lectins. So if we had 2 of these to hold up, it's a double negative. Coffee gets a big thumbs up. Coffee is loaded with polyphenols, but you gotta be careful what you put in your coffee. If you put milk or cream in it, you will negate all the benefits of those polyphenols. Same way with artificial sweeteners. You will kill off your gut buddies with your artificial sweeteners. So have your coffee black or use an MCT creamer, which will be safe. Or if you gotta have it sweet, use allulose, which is a prebiotic, non-nutritive sweetener. Sorry, folks, chia seeds are loaded with lectins, and this has been shown in humans to increase inflammation. So chia seeds are out, but there's a great replacement, basil seeds. They'll act exactly the same way. Milks that can help you slim down. Almond milk gets a thumbs down. Here's the problem with almond milk. There is a fairly nasty lectin in the peel of almonds, and most almond milks are made from ground up almonds with the peel. The other sad thing that I see in my patients with autoimmune diseases is that almonds and almond milk are one of the highest food sensitivity that we see in my patients' blood work. So unfortunately, almond milk gets thumbs down. Oh my gosh, if you wanted something worse than almond milk, oat milk is the best, worst milk there is. Oats are sprayed with glyphosate, even organic oats test positive for glyphosate. They're sprayed with a banned herbicide, even though it's banned. And oats cross-react with gluten in my patients. Plus, almost all oat milks have added sugar to make it taste decent. So it's just a triple negative. Soy milk. Soy milk is also a negative. Soy is one of the worst lectin-containing legumes there is. Soy has no business being drunk as a milk. Plus, a great amount of soy milk is sweetened with sugar. And so stay away from soy milk.
How about cashew milk?
Cashews are part of the poison ivy family. And if you think drinking poison ivy milk is a good idea, then have your cashew milk. They are loaded with lectins. Not a day goes by that someone finds out that all their tummy troubles is because they switched to cashew milk. So if you like burning the inside of your stomach, go ahead. Rice milk, unfortunately, falls into the same category. Rice has a lectin in the hull. Most rice milk still has many lectins, but the real problem with rice milk is it's mostly carbohydrates, mostly sugar. Coconut milk. If you gotta have something white in your coffee or tea, coconut milk, unsweetened coconut milk is your best bet. It will have some medium chain triglycerides, not a lot, but some, but it won't have any of the nasty lectins that all the other ones contain. Dairy milk, no, for several reasons. Number one, you are not a baby cow. Cow's milk, goat's milk, sheep's milk is designed to make their babies grow rapidly. They are loaded with growth hormones, even though it says not injected with growth hormones. That makes no difference to the mother. She wants her baby cow to grow quickly. So her milk is loaded with growth hormones. You do not want to drink dairy milk. Foods that help prevent heartburn. So I'm going to give broccoli a thumbs up with a proviso. So broccoli is part of the cruciferous family of vegetables, which has a lot of sulfur-containing ingredients. Sulfur is really good for your gut buddies, with the proviso that some people, the cruciferous family of vegetables is notorious for producing gas. And gas can inflate your belly and your stomach and actually push foods up into your esophagus. So if you don't get gas from broccoli, big thumbs up. If you're one of the broccoli gassers, be careful. Oh, asparagus, big thumbs up. So asparagus is actually loaded with a sugar molecule that is a prebiotic fiber called inulin. And your gut buddies absolutely love inulin, and it helps them prosper. Now, don't be afraid if after you eat asparagus, your urine smells really weird. That's because you were blessed with a gene that makes asparaginase. I'm not making this up. About half of us have it. I have it. My wife doesn't. So every time I eat asparagus, my urine smells really interesting. It has nothing to do with whether it's bad or good for you. So sweet potatoes get a big thumbs up. Sweet potatoes or yams are loaded with prebiotic fiber, resistant starches, and your gut buddies need those to prosper. And the happier you make your gut buddies, the less likely you will have heartburn. So garlic also gets a thumbs up. Garlic is loaded with prebiotic fiber. Interestingly enough, the active component in garlic is called allicin, and research suggests that allicin not only is good for your gut and your heartburn, but allicin is really good for your blood vessel walls. So, big winner. Mushrooms get a thumbs up. Mushrooms are loaded with prebiotic fiber, and they actually have the correct form of beta-glucans, which are one of the best ways to feed gut microbiome. Fun fact, oats, which also have beta-glucans, don't have the right form of beta-glucans, where their mushrooms do. But you gotta be careful with mushrooms. The white mushroom, the button mushroom, is one of my most offenders on food sensitivities in my patients. They contain a very odd chemical which may be deadly in large amounts. The other ones, on the other hand, the crimini, the shiitake, the portobello, the newer, wilder mushrooms, those are great. So, but stay away from the button mushroom. Well, I'm going to give beans both a thumbs up and a thumbs down, depending on how they're prepared. If you do not ferment your beans or pressure cook your beans, they are notorious for containing lectins, but more importantly, they produce a huge amount of gas in most people. And gas in your abdomen, once again, presses up on your diaphragm, presses up on your stomach, and can actually produce heartburn. So on the other hand, if you pressure cook them or you properly soak them and ferment them and eat them in small amounts, they're actually very good for your gut buddies. But be careful, most beans are not pressure cooked. Apples. So I was just at Trader Joe's last week and I actually found apples that were only 2 inches across. Shocking. If you can find small apples the way they actually existed long ago, I'm going to give them a thumbs up because apples have a very interesting fiber called pectin, apple pectin, and there are compounds in the apple peel that actually are a really cool polyphenol. On the other hand, most apples in the grocery store are Franken apples. They're the size of a grapefruit. They are loaded with sugar, and they're one of the worst things that you can eat for preventing heartburn. Applesauce is processed apples. It's pure sugar. Don't do it. Apples that have been processed are just pure sugar. Now you go, but it says no sugar added. That's code word for there's so much sugar in here already, we didn't have to add any more. Oh, tomatoes are a lectin bomb. Now, the peels and the seeds contain the lectins. So, if you absolutely have to have your tomatoes, peel and de-seed them like my mother did. She was taught by my grandmother, who was from France. Or find a tomato sauce or paste that comes from Italy. By law, tomatoes have to be peeled and de-seeded, but a regular tomato, stay away from. I love heirloom tomatoes, but they got to be peeled and de-seeded, and you're not doing that, are you? Contains magnesium? Dark chocolate does contain magnesium, and magnesium is one of the elements that we absolutely have to have for proper function of our gut cells, for proper function of our heart, and actually proper function of our brain. So dark chocolate, as long as it's greater than 72% cacao, is a decent choice for getting some magnesium in you. So this is going to be a little bit of a plus, but mostly a minus. Tofu does have some magnesium. The problem with tofu is that it is actually a non-fermented form of soy. On the other hand, tempeh or natto is fermented soy. So if you're looking for a soy product with magnesium, don't get tofu because it's not fermented. It is loaded with lectins. On the other hand, if you're looking for soy that does contain some magnesium, tempeh and natto is much safer. By the way, miso also has magnesium and it's fermented. So use miso as a paste, make miso soup. Miso is kind of fun to add to salad dressings, to put on various vegetables. There's a lot actually you can do with miso, and it actually is safe. So salmon is mostly up as long as you get wild salmon. Most salmon in America is farm raised, even if it says organic, it was fed organic corn and soybeans. You are what you eat, but you are what the thing you're eating ate. So unless it's wild caught salmon or Alaskan salmon, please stay away from most of the salmon in the grocery stores. It gets a thumbs down. Thumbs down for bananas. Believe it or not, there is not a lot of potassium in bananas, despite what you've been told. The United Fruit Company in the early 1900s, maker of Chiquita banana brand, paid doctors to tell people that bananas were rich in potassium. That's not true, but advertising works, and to this day, people think that bananas are high in potassium.